Beneath the Earth's surface, among the cold and damp, lie hidden realms where man was not meant to live. It is here that countless tunnels and caverns form a world of the forgotten and the unexplored. What lurks unseen in these Stygian depths that have never felt the sun's light? What malevolent creatures and spirits do these shadows hide? Let us journey into the darkness of the Underworld. Originally built from centuries-old limestone mines, the Catacombs of Paris were created after 1774, serving as a place to store the city's dead after cemeteries began to overflow. It has harbored all manner of revolutionaries, outlaws, and madmen. It should come as no surprise that disturbing human remains on such a massive scale has caused many to believe that Paris's catacombs contain restless spirits of the dead. One such phantom is said to be that of Philibert Absert, a hospital doorman from the time of the Revolution. Mistakenly entering the catacombs while searching for a wine cellar, Philibert had only bought a candle to illuminate his way. In a drunken haze, the man soon became hopelessly lost, leaving his decomposed remains to be discovered years later. November 3rd is the day his spirit is supposed to rise from its tomb to haunt the tunnels once again. Cataphiles also speak of a figure known as the Green Man, described as a figure clad in green robes and emitting a faint glow. The Green Man is seen both as a protector of the catacombs as well as a malicious entity. Supposedly, the specter will cause disoriented explorers to venture deeper into the catacombs. Not alone in this pursuit, the skulls lining the walls are supposed to whisper after midnight, leading adventurers to their doom and join them as another one of the catacombs' 6 million residents. Far more ancient, the catacombs of Rome are also said to be rife with supernatural phenomena. Dating back to the 2nd century, they contain the remains of Christian, Jewish, and pagan worshippers. Like the catacombs of Paris, much of them are off limits. One of the earliest rumors to be linked to the catacombs is that of the lost 9th Legion. Though no historical evidence exists, one tale involves Roman soldiers taking shelter in these subterranean tunnels. They never emerged, and still remain to defend Rome's glory and punish intruders. Of course, not all of the catacombs' otherworldly entities are disembodied spirits. Some superstitious residents of the area have spoken of vampires rising from the tombs at night to feed on the blood of the living and conduct occult rituals within their confines. Moreover, various curses supposedly await adventurers to the catacombs, from inscriptions upon its walls to various relics that may bring about misfortune and death. Perhaps not as well known as Rome or Paris, the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum in Malta is also surrounded by chilling tales. Its origins shrouded in mystery, many believe the Hypogeum to have once been a place of worship, with supernatural beings of prehistoric times being responsible for its impressive scale and precision. An urban legend once claimed that an entire class field trip of 30 children vanished while touring the tunnels, although that is hardly the only rumor these catacombs have spawned. Eerie acoustics, unexplained shadows, and spontaneous feelings of unease give the Hypogeum an otherworldly feeling, leaving some visitors convinced the veil between the living and the dead is thin here. Extracting resources from the earth is a dangerous task, even in modern times. Cave-ins, deadly gas, and floods have claimed the lives of countless workers through the ages. With so much death, mines have become a mainstay of unexplained sightings. Listed among the most haunted places in North America, the Bell Island mine in Newfoundland has seen its share of tragedy. Whispers and the feeling of being watched are often attributed to the loss of over 100 men during its operation. Footsteps have been heard echoing through its silent tunnels. However, its most famous specter is that of the White Woman, Clad in a white dress, she is said to be the ghost of a murder victim discovered in the mine's well in the 1940s. The enraged spirit was once blamed for wounds inflicted on miners, the men having been attacked after work and needing to be hospitalized for treatment for their injuries. The remains of a bygone gold rush, the Vulture mine in Arizona once boomed with fortune seekers. Today, the area has been reduced to a ghost town. A cave-in 1923 saw 7 miners and their donkeys lose their lives while trying to loot ore from the mine's support pillars. Their spirits have been glimpsed around the site, with a depression in the ground marking where it occurred. The bodies were never recovered. Visitors to Vulture Mine have encountered unexplained voices, footsteps, and shadowy figures. One of the presences believed to be that of Jimmy Davis. Having died in agony after an accident in 1916, his cries for help can still occasionally be heard echoing through the darkness. Far to the north of Arizona's scorching desert lie the Kennecott copper mines of Alaska. Also once a prosperous industrial town, the mines and surrounding ghost town now stand idle, resisting attempts at resettlement. Indeed, construction workers hired in the late 1990s reported hearing disembodied voices, vanishing tombstones, and the unexplained loss of tools directly from their belts. With the profession dating back into antiquity, mining has acquired its own superstitions. Rumors of creatures said to inhabit underground regions were a source of fear for many. Ranging from benign to downright wicked, their behavior varied. From Cornwall, England, the belief in Tommyknockers eventually spread west throughout America. Sometimes pictured as a kind of gnome, Tommyknockers were widely believed to be ghosts of miners that had perished underground. They were said to warn of impending collapses by knocking on the walls, hence their name. Similarly, Slavic people believed in the Shubin, a spirit said to wear a fur coat and burn gas with a torch. In either case, these spirits were often thought as needing to be properly appeased, lest they cause a disaster. Hailing from Germanic myth, kobolds were said to live in the rock itself. Expert miners and smiths in their own right, these creatures tended to be more nefarious, although they supposedly had the ability to lead miners to ore veins. Seen as hunched, hideous beings, they could be sated with offerings of food. Though unlikely caused by a Tommyknocker or kobold, one of the worst mining disasters in English history occurred on December 2nd, 1866, in Oak's mining pit, with several explosions claiming up to 383 lives. After frantic rescue operations ceased, locals refused to enter the site. Recent paranormal investigations have uncovered not only evidence of ghostly activity, but also of demonic presence, possibly attracted by the tragedy. Additionally, the land itself is said to be cursed. Not all underground reaches were created by man. Naturally occurring caves, many having been shaped over millions of years, exist across the globe. Having existed since before humans walked the earth, these dark depths have secrets all their own. Wookey Hole Caves of Somerset, England, was allegedly the site of a famous battle between a witch and a monk a millennium ago, which left the hag turned to stone. Disturbingly, human remains dating from this time were discovered here in 1912. Visitors to the site have reported seeing the ghost of a diver that perished here, as well as that of a laughing child. To the east of Wookey Hole Caves lie Chislehurst Caves. Written records of this site go back as far as the 9th century, although it was likely first developed by Druids over thousands of years ago. Used for a variety of purposes over the years, the echoes of mining tools, cries of children, and animal noises can still be heard by some. A challenge to stay in the caves overnight resulted in one of the guides having to be hospitalized for unexplained injuries after his screams led others to find him unconscious, while another challenger vowed to never return. The most famous spirit here is said to be that of the White Lady that rises from one of the cave's pools. She is believed to be a murder victim whose bones were discovered in 1940. Other entities include a black dog, ghostly soldiers, and the druids that dwelt here long ago. One of the many caves that dotted the Pacific Islands, Hawaii's Kaniana Cave has acquired a sinister reputation. It is here that the natives believed humanity first emerged into the world, and that the site was the dwelling of a shape-shifting shark god with a taste for human flesh. In ancient times, the inner chambers were used by kahuna priests to conduct rituals, and, more recently, by criminals to dispose of murder victims. The innermost depths of the cave lead to lava tubes, and even hell itself, according to some sources. Most disturbing, however, are accounts describing a humanoid creature with charred flesh and red eyes supposed to reside here. Could it be a guardian of some kind? Of course, it would be amiss to not mention the infamous Bell Witch Cave of Tennessee. First gaining notoriety in the 19th century, the area is well known as being the site of a fatal haunting that left farmer John Bell dead. The malicious spirit said to be responsible is thought to have taken up residence here, with stories of moans, laughter, and screams being heard from inside. Additionally, the cave is situated under a Native American burial ground, and once contained the bones of a child that have since been stolen. Tourists and investigators have experienced being pushed and scratched, in addition to seeing apparitions in the shadows. If nothing else, remember this. If you decide to go exploring the underground, it's all fun and games until the chuds come for you.